From the phone vote controversy to the bike lane to 526, Charleston City Councilman Rodney Williams talks to me one-on-one for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. Councilman Williams.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just great.
Good. Y'all don't even try to get in touch with me. It will be for a month and a half.
That's right. I know you've been busy.
I'm busy, yeah.
Tell me as we sit here right now, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm really good. I'm good.
And I know that when you were out of town, you had to speak to a couple of students at a couple of colleges. Meanwhile, here at City Hall, there's this debate on why you called in on a debate about the bike lane. And I know that Councilman Bill Moody has some reservations about that. Let me ask you this. Why this issue? Why now?
First of all, I think I have a positive relationship with all members of City Council, including Councilman Moody. And any councilman has a right to ask any question they want to. That's just what we do. And that's just a part of the game. So that's just a part of the political life we have. And I have a right to do that, and he has a right to do that too. On the issue of why the question of the phone vote, I can't answer that. It's because it is something that we do. And the issue of me being out was basically new 30, maybe 60 days, 2 months before this, but it was known that there were on 2 occasions I would not be here, my schedule would not permit me. So that was already vetted and out there.
Right.
But the issue of being able to do it, I think that has been a process we've done before. And I think that's what it's been a process we've done before. I couldn't do it if it wasn't a process we've done before. So it wasn't anything it wasn't anything I was trying to hide. It was clear evidence that when the summer schedule came out in June and July, I would not be there. I indicated that. So, you know, the most important thing is leadership. If you're committed to leadership to the city, any means necessary to have your vote heard and have your expression heard shows leadership. You could easily say I'm out and then just don't call in. That was not the vat. I was just not going to be available, but couldn't make myself available at the given time. That's what you do with leadership. You don't hide from the issue. You deal with the issue. I mean, it wasn't a sickness, it was something already planned. So I was prepared to do that, and that's what we did. As far as vetting the process, I think that process of being able to do that, I have done that, called in on committees, meetings, and we've had a council meeting. Right. I've done that before, but the process of any councilman wanting to make sure that that's clear, I'm for that. So I'm for what Councilman Moody did. I'm for to making it clear. And if it is clear, then it's fine. If it's not clear, then it needs to be made clear, and then council can come back at some later date and do an ordinance to make it clear. But whatever we do know that there are times of emergency. I mean, when the bad flooding happened, we hold a council meeting for the safety of the city to shut down the city. That was a vote of council via phone. So to me, it's making sure that it's good and clear and a healthy situation. Fine, I'm fine with it.
Speaking of issues, let's talk about a couple of them. Describe to me the following one word: Sergeant Jasper.
Sergeant Jasper has been an emotional, complex issue. I was one of the 3 councilmen who had been to all the negotiation meetings way before we got a new mayor.
Right.
You know, I made myself available to that, and it was an extraordinary group of discussions. It's something like, you know, one of those things where people are very concerned about the future, the architect integrity of the Sergeant Jasper. But I would say to you openly, I believe that the Sergeant Jasper people have done everything possible that they can to make a viable compromise. I've been to all the meetings, and I can tell you they came very close to something, but at some point it just didn't work out. But they put everything forth that they could possibly, and so did the neighbors. But you have to compromise. You can't compromise and you can't micromanage at the same time. You can't do it. But they did a fantastic job. My hats are off to them, because they really put a lot in to trying to work on something that was a complex issue that needed to be resolved. On that matter, it is why I and many other, and unanimous vote by council, right, we went with the settlement. And part of voting for the settlement is because I felt that it was important that Sergeant Jasper be able to move on, but at the same time, the integrity of the Board of Architect Review stay intact, because the Board of Architect Review is not an independent arm of City Council, it's a part of City Council. It was created through an ordinance of City Council, so you just couldn't neglect the responsibility of the Board of Architect Review, and so we voted for that compromise. I think it was a good one, the settlement. I think it was a good one. So we did that. It was unanimous to vote on the settlement. It was important to do that, to keep the integrity of the bar intact in its function, because it's a viable, important function to the architectural integrity of the city. You just can't have any and everything open up, and if that settlement didn't go through, anybody can build anything. And that's not what the integrity of the city over 300 years were built on. So I was part of that, and that was a good thing to do.
Speaking of which, hotels.
Speaking of which?
Hotels.
In the city of Charleston?
Yes, sir.
Well, I was of the opinion of Mayor Tecklenburg that we needed a moratorium. I voted against it. But after the 6-month study came back, it was astonishing. The studies indicated clearly we're not hotel overbuilt. What our issue is parking and mobility. So we still need to be cautious. But when the study came back from the planning, from our staff, is that it was clear that we're not hotel overbuilt as compared to other places like San Francisco, New Orleans. We're not, I think that message to be clear, we're not overbuilt in hotels. Our issue is mobility, spacing, and parking.
Yes. And speaking of which, I should have asked this earlier, but let's talk about the LaGree Bridge bike lane.
Again, you're talking about the bike lane or the vote?
Or you can talk about both.
Well, the situation with the vote is to this body, the vote has been taken. And what the vote has said is that we would say to Charleston County Chairman Summey is that ask them to move forward, because some people would be of the thought that I would be of the thought that we shouldn't even have to vote again because there's already a contract in place. So that issue, to me, having to go back was just maybe a delay. As far as a councilman, I listened to every one of the correspondence I got in person by District 2.
Right.
I know there were 2 people in District 2 that was adamant about opposing the bike lane in my district. Every other correspondent I got from District 2 was in favor of the bike lane. I made sure I held those correspondence. Got a lot of correspondence from other areas, James, other places. But at the same time, when you look at the bike lane and you look at the question of we need the Pearlman Bridge and the LaGree Bridge need to be rebuilt, there are maybe over 1,200 obsolete bridges and roads in South Carolina. We have not raised the gasoline taxes in over, I don't know, 20 years. We can't solve these road and bridges obsoleteness over the fact of the matter until we increase the gasoline tax. That's something the governor and the legislature got to work for. Putting money for roads and bridges in the general funds just ain't gonna cut it. So on that issue, the issue is with all the growth in the city, 42 people moving here a day, what would it be for the safety if people can ride the bikes on the bridge and walk on the bridge now? It is an unsafe thing, and it becomes also a social issue. Government should be responsible for the livability and the safety of people. It's nothing wrong when the county engineer declared that it did not delay traffic at more than a second or whatever, and it was safe. Those were the 2 issues that the study was to present back, and they came back positive. So to me, for a safety issue, we needed a bike path. Some people say, well, you still gonna have to take it out. Yeah, we may have to take it out, but it's an issue of safety and it's an issue of mobility. It is not about, it's not about leisureness, it's about mobility and safety. It's not being built for a group of elite people who ride bicycles. It is the hope that people who are working, who right now are safe. To me, it became a safety issue. But when the county was doing the study, it was clear that once they finished the issue of traffic and the issue of safety and could it be built, that was it. So, you know, on that note, that's what it is. And now when it goes back to the county, I don't know what the county can say. It's because the county said it was not their project.
Speaking of which, let's talk about 526.
I'm happy to know that the mayor in September will be going back to the infrastructure bank.
Right.
I've got my fingers crossed that through the leadership of Mayor Tecklenburg and members of County Council, include Elliot Summey, Mr. Summey, that we could get back and we could get that money back. It is my hope that if we can get that money back between the city of Charleston and the county and the people of Charleston, we will find the will to build that. The 526 must be completed. If 526 is not completed, we are drawing the line in the sand of not being a safe community. Over 85% of the people who are affected by 526 live West Ashland. The pressure, even if you had to do all the things, additional things that you want to do without a completed 526, we're drawing the line in the sand for disaster. The growth is already, it has to be built. I don't see any pathway to true safety if it's not built, if it's not completed.
Well, Councilman Rodney Williams, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.